Good evening and welcome to another amazing session of Traplan webinars. This is your host Harnoor Singh for the evening. Today we are going to discuss one of our neighboring countries which is extremely beautiful, Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, they were going through a very rough time due to a financial crisis which affected their tourism sector as well. But hopefully now the situation is way better and the market has started picking. So the tourism is started to Sri Lanka and Indians are very eager to travel to this destination. And that is why we wanted to provide our travel agent partners with a head start so that they are able to cater all the queries that are flowing in the market in a very better way. So that is why we have brought this session to you today. And this will help you to get a better picture of all the things that are happening around in the tourism market when it comes to Sri Lanka. So now without any further delays, let's begin today's session. And I would like to welcome the speaker for the day, Mr. Zishan, business head at Traplan. Hi Zishan, how are you?
Hi, Harnoor. I'm great. I hope you're also doing great. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So, quite excited and thank you for inviting me again. So, it's a very interesting topic, and I'm quite excited to share my research with the viewers. So, when you allow, I'll be very ready to start the presentation.
Right, Zishan. We can see a lot of interested travel agent partners who have already joined this session. This shows the enthusiasm that Indians have for selling and traveling to Sri Lanka. And so we also have some good announcements for them coming in the presentation. So I believe we should begin.
Cool. Thank you so much. So, I'll be sharing my screen now. And in case if you're not getting my voice, please don't hesitate to inform me, okay? I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, Zishan, it's visible.
Cool. So the topic is very interesting and it's very exciting also. Exciting because Sri Lanka, it's our neighboring country and most of the travel agents are aware about the potential of Sri Lanka tourism. So the thing is Sri Lanka was going through a very bad phase for a few months, but now it's reviving and it's rebounding. So I am just here to share the glance of what happened and what steps are being taken to revive the industry and what Sri Lanka tourism has to offer you as a travel agent and what you can suggest or recommend to your clients. So without delaying any further, I would be telling you about what all topics that we would be covering here. So first of all, how safe is Sri Lanka? So basically, we'd be starting like this. So what happened in Sri Lanka? Then what is being done to revive the tourism? And then lots of you have questioned that how safe is Sri Lanka and why you should be selling Sri Lanka. So please excuse the sequence, but these all topics we would be covering first. So the very first topic that we are going to cover is the Sri Lanka crisis, because before coming to the suggestions and telling you about what is the condition there and what Sri Lanka tourism has to offer, it is very important to understand what happened there. Okay, so basically, back in May, Sri Lanka was gripped by protests for 5 months in response to the critical shortage of fuel, cooking gas, and medicine, alongside rolling power cuts. So locals were basically queuing for hours to buy the essentials, and a major reason for that was that they were not having enough foreign reserves, and that's the reason that all these things were happening. And also one of the very important aspect was the political side. So because of the corruption also, the entire country it went to the dogs. So basically a state of emergency was initially declared on 6th May, and on 10th May protesters they started setting fires to homes, and they also started setting fires to the businesses belonging to the ruling party lawmakers and politicians. And these clashes led to the resignation of the then Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapakse on 9th May. So, along with his brother, the President Rajapaksa, also has been blamed by many for plunging the country into its worst economic crisis in decades. So, I will explain this in Hindi also. तो बेसिकली वहाँ के जो फॉरेन रिजर्व्स और जो ये बेसिकली प्रोटेस्ट चल रहे थे, श्रीलंकन लोकल्स जो थे 5 महीने से प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे बिकॉज ऑफ द शॉर्टेज ऑफ फ्यूल, कुकिंग गैस और मेडिसिन, ये सारी चीज़ उन्हें उपलब्ध नहीं हो रही थी और इन सब के वजह से उन्होंने प्रोटेस्ट करना शुरू किया। पहले प्रोटेस्ट पीसफुल था बट उसके बाद लोग को और ज़्यादा परेशानी का सामना करना पड़ रहा था एंड बिकॉज इसका सॉल्यूशन नहीं हो रहा था, गवर्नमेंट वाज नॉट पेइंग हीट and basically because of the corrupt politicians over there, so ये conditions और worse होते गई और स्टेट ऑफ इमरजेंसी डिक्लेयर हुआ 6 मई को। 10 मई को लोगों ने मतलब आग लगाना शुरू कर दिया घरों पे और जो रूलिंग पार्टी के बिजनेसेस थे उनके घरों पे और उनके बिजनेस में आग लगाना शुरू कर दिया। क्लैशेस हुए, बहुत वायलेंट क्लैशेस हुए और उससे फाइनली जो उस वक्त के प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे महिंदा राजपक्सा, उन्होंने रेजिग्नेशन दिया। तो उन पे और उनके भाई पे दोनों पे इल्ज़ाम था कि आप लोगों ने मिलके श्रीलंका को बहुत ही बुरे इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन में डाल दिया है, जो कि इससे पहले कभी नहीं हुआ था। सो दिस वाज बेसिकली द जिस्ट ऑफ व्हाट हैपेंड इन श्रीलंका और ये क्राइसिस क्यों हुआ। ठीक है, नाउ मूविंग टू द अनदर टॉपिक, that is like how important is Sri Lankan tourism. So basically how important is the tourism for Sri Lanka, that is also one thing, and how important is Sri Lanka tourism for Indian travel agents. So both the things are there. So the first thing is basically Sri Lanka का एक बहुत ही major part जो है tourism से आता है, and that's why tourism play a very important role in the economy of Sri Lanka. So the travel and tourism sector basically is the major income generator for the Sri Lankan economy. But the ongoing economic crisis, coupled with the Ukraine-Russian war and China's zero COVID policy, it put to the sector in jeopardy. So basically, जो already condition खराब थी श्रीलंका की इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन, और क्योंकि इकोनॉमी का एक बहुत ही मेजर पार्ट होता है टूरिज्म श्रीलंका के लिए, उसके बाद से फिर ये यूक्रेन और रशिया का वार हुआ और ये कोविड के वजह से श्रीलंका बेसिकली इनकी इकोनॉमी और टूरिज्म दोनों ही और खराब होती चली गई। So against this backdrop, the country will face an uphill task in restoring a once thriving sector, says global data, leading data and analytics company. So basically, उस वक्त की ये रिपोर्ट जो है मैंने पहले की शेयर की हुई थी, जब कंडीशन बहुत खराब हुई, जब वॉर चल रही थी, तब श्रीलंका को वापस से अपने मतलब फूड पे स्टैंड होने के लिए उन्हें अपने टूरिज्म सेक्टर को जल्द से जल्द रिवाइव करना बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट था। बिकॉज लाइक टूरिज्म अकाउंट्स फॉर मोर देन 12% ऑफ द कंट्रीज जीडीपी, जो कि एक बहुत ही मेजर पार्ट है, एंड इट्स लाइक द थर्ड लार्जेस्ट सोर्स ऑफ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स। एंड सो बेसिकली वहाँ पे रेमिटेंसेज होते हैं और वहाँ पे कपड़ों की इंडस्ट्री है, फिर टूरिज्म है, ये सारी चीज़ें वहाँ की मतलब मेजर इकोनॉमिक फैक्टर है। उसके बाद आता है श्रीलंकन टूरिज्म। सो बेसिकली ये सारे चीज़ें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर प्ले करते हैं श्रीलंका इकोनॉमी के लिए, एंड क्योंकि टूरिज्म एक बहुत ही मेजर पार्ट प्ले करता है, श्रीलंकन गवर्नमेंट इसे जल्द से जल्द रिवाइव करने की कोशिश में लग गए थे। So basically, out of the Sri Lanka's total population of 2.2 crores, almost like 30 lakhs people are dependent on tourism. So now you can see how important tourism is for the Sri Lankan economy. So मतलब 2 करोड़ के लोगों के में से ऑलमोस्ट 30 लाख लोग श्रीलंका टूरिज्म पे ही डिपेंडेंट है। सो इतना ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर प्ले करता है श्रीलंकन टूरिज्म। सो अगेन मतलब अगर आप देखेंगे, सो यहाँ पे ऑलमोस्ट 17,000 फॉरेन टूरिस्ट जो है श्रीलंका दो अगस्त के फर्स्ट 2 वीक्स में विजिट किए, ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अराउंड 17,000 फॉरेन टूरिस्ट दे विजिटेड श्रीलंका इन द फर्स्ट 2 weeks of August. And also the month of July, they witnessed a significant increase in tourist arrival. So, according to a report by the Sri Lankan Tourism Development Authority, 47,000 tourists entered the shores of Sri Lanka nation in July. And the figures were almost like 30,000 in May and 32,000 in June. So basically May से मतलब ये सारे conditions शुरू हुए थे, economic crisis जो है वो हाइट पकड़ने लगी थी. So मई में almost 30,000 travelers थे जो श्रीलंका गए थे. फिर उसके बाद जून में 32 था, जो कि कोई खास इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं था, बट स्टिल इट इम्प्रूव. एंड 47,293 टू बी वेरी स्पेसिफिक, इतने लोग जुलाई में ट्रैवल किए. सो जो कि काफी अच्छा नंबर है. दैट मीन्स कि तेजी से श्रीलंका में टूरिस्ट लोग जाना शुरू कर दिए एंड गवर्नमेंट भी इसको प्रमोट करना शुरू कर दी. So among the tourists who visited Sri Lanka in July, the majority of them hailed from the UK, India, Germany, France and Canada. So यूरोपियंस काफी जाते हैं, और यूरोपियंस में भी यूके, जर्मनी, फ्रांस, यहाँ के लोग जाते हैं. इंडिया क्योंकि नेबर है, और इंडिया में ऑलरेडी श्रीलंका टूरिज्म बहुत पॉपुलर है, बहुत सालों से इंडियंस भी गए थे. एंड कनाडा से भी काफी सारे लोग आए. तो बेसिकली इफ यू सी द ब्रेकअप, सो ऑलमोस्ट 20% यूके से गए, इंडिया से 13%, जर्मनी, फ्रांस एंड कनाडा से 8% ईच. सो श्रीलंका गवर्नमेंट के पास अब ये उनका ओपिनियन है कि जैसे ये यूक्रेन और रशिया वाली वार अब खत्म हो गई, सो अब कंडीशन और ज्यादा बेटर होगी. एंड वो हर तरह से कोशिश कर रहे हैं श्रीलंका टूरिज्म को प्रमोट करने की. So because they don't have any option than to revive the tourism at any cost. So tourism is very important for Sri Lanka basically. All right. Just a second, I'm sharing my screen again.
Zishan, sorry to cut you in between, but we have a few requests for you from our travel agent partners. So the first one is that sometimes your voice is low, so maybe if you can adjust your mic. And the second one is that a few of our viewers who are watching this session understand English better than Hindi. So if you can try and have a mix of both Hindi and English, because we have some
Sure,
viewers.
definitely. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
Cool. Okay, I will use a mixture of both English and Hindi because equal number of travelers are also there understanding Hindi as well. So I will try to explain everything in both the language. Okay. Now I told you about the condition in Sri Lanka, like what basically happened there, and second thing was like what all like what's the condition now. So importance of tourism that I already discussed. The Sri Lanka crisis was discussed. Now the third uh, thing is efforts. So basically what the government is doing in order to uplift the tourism in Sri Lanka. So like I will explain you all these things in detail also, but like I have just mentioned few pointers over here. So the first one is like Sanat Jasuria. He was appointed as the brand ambassador of Sri Lanka tourism. So which is a big thing because Sanat Jasuria, like he's a very famous name. He was the ex captain of Sri Lankan cricket team, and in India also he's equally popular. So he has been appointed as the brand ambassador of Sri Lankan tourism. Then promotion of Ramayana Trail and Buddhism is also has also started, and branding throughout Asia Cup. Like if you have watched Asia Cup, so you must have seen that after every one or two ads, there was a Sri Lankan tourism ads also placed in between. So this is how effectively they are doing the promotion. Also, I've recently observed so many road shows are being organized, and I also came to know that the travel agents are also being sent to Sri Lanka as part of the familiarization trip, because the condition is better now, and the government wants the travel agents to come to Sri Lanka and see how beautiful the condition has been restored now, and like how safe it is to travel to Sri Lanka. So all these efforts are being done, and also like stability of airline industry is also being taken care of. So I will come to all these points. Yeah, sorry. So I will basically come to all these points and explain you about everything. So what all efforts that are being done in order to uplift the economy and uplift the tourism sector in Sri Lanka. So I am the first point was Sanat Jayasuriya was appointed as the brand ambassador of Sri Lanka tourism. So this is a very like you can call it a master stroke also, because Sri Lanka like cricket is very popular in both the countries, both Sri Lanka and in India. And Sanat Jayasuriya is a very popular face in India also. And recently, like Sri Lanka won the Asia Cup, so that is again a very positive thing for them. So it was very important for them also to, in order to win the cup. Like we Indians said that it's enough for us, because Virat Kohli finally scored a century. But for Sri Lankan tourism, because the economy was already shattered, and people were already like very much disappointed with the government and the ongoing condition. It was a kind of relief and something to cherish. So the Sri Lankan cricket team won the Asia Cup, so that was something very much needed for them. So basically everyone is now positive that the tourism will revive. And since like the southpaw Sanat Jayasuriya has been appointed as the brand ambassador of the Sri Lanka tourism. So people are like calling it a master stroke. And like ever since he has been appointed, he has like started taking measures to like do things which can boost the tourism in Sri Lanka. So basically Sri Lanka also, like Sanat Jayasuriya, uh, after being appointed as the brand ambassador, he welcomed Mammootty to Sri Lanka. So Mammootty is a very big name in the South Indian film industry. So he welcomed, invited Mammootty to Sri Lanka, because if Mammootty goes there, visit Sri Lanka, then obviously people would also, the fans of Mammootty would also like feel safe to travel to Sri Lanka. So like Bollywood and cricket, these two are like the major thing in India. And like Sanat Jayasuriya is already a face of cricket, and Mammootty is again a face of like Indian film industry, especially the South Indian film industry. So basically, this was also a very clever step taken by Sanat Jayasuriya, that he invited Mammootty to visit Sri Lanka. So the government basically appointed Jayasuriya as the brand ambassador, or just and after just 10 days, he met Mammootty, and he is burning the midnight oil to attract more tourists to the island nation. So basically, as I already mentioned, out of Sri Lanka's total population of 2.2 crores, close to 30 lakhs people are dependent on tourism to earn a livelihood. So the yearly revenue, if you see, so from the tourism sector was nearly $4.5 billion, and the tourism industry, as I mentioned, is the like basically was the third highest contributor to the nation's kitty before the COVID-19 pandemic happened. So basically, they want the same thing to happen again. They want to restore the economic situation, and they want to make tourism top three factors for the economy. And if you see, so basically Sri Lanka is mainly visited by tourists from UK, India, and China. But the severe shortage of foreign exchange reserves and drastic dip in income from the tourism sector had pushed Sri Lanka into an economic meltdown. So, Jaisurya again started, as I mentioned, the second step was the Ramayana trail and Buddhism. So immediately after assuming office as the tourism ambassador, Jaisurya held discussion with India's High Commissioner in Colombo. And after the meeting, Jaisurya announced a project to promote the Ramayana trail in a bid to add muscle to the tourism sector. So it is said that there are like 52 places in Sri Lanka that are linked with the epic Ramayana, and Sri Lanka and India had agreed to increase cooperation on cultural and religious grounds on the basis of Ramayana in 2008. So India has now expressed its commitment to invest in the tourism sector as part of the efforts to help Sri Lanka recover from the economic collapse. And another tourism project on the anvil is to connect Buddhist centers in India and Sri Lanka, and talks were recently conducted on that front. So, India as a neighbor and market plays a very important in terms of reviving the industry, the tourism industry in Sri Lanka. So, India is basically the main force that drives tourism in Sri Lanka and its airline companies also. So, as part of promoting tourism activities, the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau is planning to organize exhibitions in Mumbai, Delhi, and Hyderabad in September. So, I also came to know that like last month, sorry, basically last month they organized some events in Gujarat also. So now they also planning to organize exhibitions in Mumbai, Delhi, and Hyderabad. So this is September already going. Lots of events might have already happened, and others are also on the card. So all these steps are basically being taken by the Sri Lankan government. And in a bid to stimulate the tourism industry, the Sri Lankan government had made marked changes in the visa rules. So if you talk about the visa, so visa is like Sri Lanka is for Indians, it's on arrival visa. Also, you can apply the visa online. So if you apply it online, it costs around 25 USD per person, and it's a destination where like you can plan for Sri Lanka anytime. Let's say you want to visit Sri Lanka next week, also it's very much possible because the visa can be obtained like online or like on arrival also. Even if you apply online, you will get the visa the same day itself. So it's so easy to travel to Sri Lanka. Now the government has eased on the visa rules even more. So people with multiple entry visas can stay up to 180 days instead of 30 days earlier. मतलब पहले 30 दिन के लिए अगर आप multiple entry visas लेते थे तो आप 30 days के लिए स्टे कर पाते थे, बट अब आप 180 days कर पाओगे according to the new policy that the government has made. And those with single entry visas, they can stay for 270 days. So जिनका मल्टीपल एंट्री वीजा है वो 180 डेज स्टे कर सकते हैं, और जिनका सिंगल एंट्री वीजा है वो 270 डेज कर सकते हैं. So basically, the visa rules had been amended in order to facilitate a longer stay for tourists and garner more foreign exchange. क्योंकि अगर जितने ज्यादा दिन तक टूरिस्ट रुकेंगे श्रीलंका में, उतने ज्यादा वहाँ के टूरिज्म के लिए बेटर है, उतने ज्यादा फॉरेन एक्सचेंज होंगे वहाँ पे, और इतने ज्यादा इकोनॉमी को हेल्प मिलेगा. सो श्रीलंकन गवर्नमेंट ने वीजा के भी एक्सटेंशन दे दिया है in case if you're traveling to Sri Lanka. So that's also like a very major step. And also like Indian government has extended financial help also, including a credit line to the Sri Lankan government, and the credit line is of almost $3.5 billion. Again, a very big amount. And additionally, like Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin had sent consignments of essentials to help the citizens of Sri Lanka. So India is basically aiming to work together in more sectors and basically chalk out the new projects in a bid to assist Sri Lanka in its recovery. Okay, now as I already mentioned that the tourism is already started, and people were basically all visiting Sri Lanka even during the peak of the crisis. And now that it's been controlled. So we are expecting more travelers to go to Sri Lanka, and the numbers already suggest that uh, almost it has been doubled than what it was 2 months back. So the number of tourism has increased, and it is going to increase even more. Okay. So all these things I have covered. Also about the stability of airline industry that I mentioned at the end. So basically, the tourism sector is bound to become robust as the winter season is high in the Western countries. So according to the Sri Lankan government, but at the same time, it will be a tall order to source enough fuel for domestic and international flights. So a meeting was conveyed by the aviation minister, and they decided to allow private oil firms to take the initiative to import oil if Sri Lanka's Ceylon Petroleum Corporation is not able to meet the demand for fuel. So basically, the demand for fuel would not be a challenge anymore. So if there is fuel, there will be proper flights, and if there are proper flights, then there will be more tourism, right? So these all steps were being taken, and I think these will help, definitely help Sri Lanka to slowly bounce back. So that was about this topic. Now coming to the another topic, let me share the screen again. Okay, so the last topic basically is why you should sell Sri Lanka. So lots of the travel agents were already selling Sri Lanka before COVID, and Sri Lanka is almost like very easy to sell, because in Sri Lanka the car is with the customer throughout the journey. So if the car and the driver is already with the customer, so it becomes very like hassle free destination even for the travel agents, because कार वहीं पर है, ड्राइवर वहीं पर है, एंड आपके जस्ट एक कॉल अवे है, तो आप कभी भी कुछ भी ड्राइवर से बात करके कहीं पे भी जा सकते हो, कुछ भी चेंजेस कर सकते हो, एंड बेसिकली ट्रैवल एजेंट्स को कॉल नहीं आते. प्लस द hotels in Sri Lanka are comparatively very much better. They are very much hospitable people, and उनके hospitality बहुत अच्छी होती है. The hotels are also really nice, and comparatively hotels are budget friendly. So even if you are staying in a five-star Taj property in India, so the Taj property in Sri Lanka would be very much cheaper as compared to a Taj in India. But obviously, we all know the hospitality of Taj. It's like the same everywhere. So you will get the best of the best hospitality at a very cheap price. So Sri Lanka, first point is that it's the most budget-friendly international destinations at the moment. So as you already know, all the major international destinations they're already open, and the restrictions has already been like eased down. So अभी mostly लोग Maldives बेच रहे हैं, दुबई बेच रहे हैं, सिंगापुर बेच रहे हैं, मलेशिया बेच रहे हैं, एंड थाईलैंड बेच रहे हैं, प्लस बाली भी स्टार्ट हो चुका है, तो लोग बाली भी बेच रहे हैं. बट इन सारे डेस्टिनेशन से सबसे सस्ती डेस्टिनेशन है श्रीलंका. सो दैट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. प्लस यहाँ पे वीज़ा ऑन अराइवल है, इट्स हैसल फ्री. कस्टमर के साथ ही कार और ड्राइवर रहते हैं. सो कोई भी चैलेंजेस नहीं आते हैं, एंड कोई कोऑर्डिनेशन में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है. सो ट्रैवल एजेंट्स के पास कॉल कम आते हैं, एंड होटल्स काफ़ी बेटर है. तो ये सारी फैक्टर्स हैं जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और इस वजह से आपको श्रीलंका सेल करनी चाहिए इफ यू आर नॉट सेलिंग इट ऑलरेडी. सेकेंड पॉइंट इज लाइक इट्स परफेक्ट फॉर ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ ट्रैवलर. सो चाहे किसी को हनीमून पे जाना हो, या फैमिली के साथ जाना हो, या कोई एडवेंचर फ्रीक है, किसी को हिली डेस्टिनेशन चाहिए, मतलब हिल स्टेशन टाइप, या किसी को वाइल्ड लाइफ एंजॉय करना है, या फिर किसी को कोई पर्टिकुलर स्पोर्ट्स करना है, या फिर किसी को हनीमून पे जाना है, बीच वाले डेस्टिनेशन जाना है, ये सारी चीज़ें आपको श्रीलंका में मिलती है. बहुत सारे लोग श्रीलंका कसिनो के वजह से भी जाते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग श्रीलंका नाइट लाइफ के वजह से भी जाते हैं. सो श्रीलंका हैज बेसिकली गॉट एवरीथिंग टू ऑर्डर. सो इफ यू आर ए ट्रैवलर, आपके लिए परफेक्ट डेस्टिनेशन है. आपको हर तरह के जोग्राफिकल कंडीशन मिलेंगे श्रीलंका में, एंड हर टाइप के टूरिस्ट यहाँ पे जा सकते हैं. सो इट्स बेसिकली द वन स्टॉप डेस्टिनेशन फॉर ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ योर ट्रैवल नीड्स. सारे ट्रैवलर्स जा सकते हैं यहाँ पे. थर्ड थिंग विच इज द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर इज द सीजन टाइम. सो यहाँ पे अभी सीजन भी है. ऐसा नहीं है कि श्रीलंका का सीजन खत्म हो चुका है. अभी लोग जाते हैं श्रीलंका, स्पेशली आप क्योंकि सितंबर ऑलरेडी आ चुका है, आधे सितंबर निकल चुका है. दिस इज द पीक टाइम फॉर ऑल द डेस्टिनेशंस, बी इट श्रीलंका, दुबई एंड थाईलैंड और एनी अदर डोमेस्टिक और इंटरनेशनल डेस्टिनेशन. ऑलमोस्ट 90% डेस्टिनेशंस का ये पीक टाइम चल रहा है, जो कि चलता रहेगा दिसंबर और जनवरी के फर्स्ट वीक तक. श्रीलंका भी वैसे ही डेस्टिनेशन है. बेसिकली श्रीलंका को आप ब्राउन द ईयर डेस्टिनेशन भी कह सकते हो. सालों भर टूरिज्म होता है यहाँ पे, बट ये जो वक्त है श्रीलंका के लिए भी पीक टाइम है, सीजन टाइम है. बट डिस्पाइट दैट यहाँ पे अवेलेबिलिटी का अभी ज़्यादा इशू नहीं है, बिकॉज पीपल आर नॉट दैट मच अवेयर अबाउट श्रीलंका की. अभी श्रीलंका की कंडीशन कैसी है, श्रीलंका जाना सेफ है या नहीं है. सो अभी ज़्यादा ऑप्शन नहीं देख रहे लोग श्रीलंका को. बट आई कैन टेल यू ऑनेस्टली, अभी श्रीलंका मतलब ऑनगोइंग भी हमारी एक ट्रिप चल रही है. सो लाइक एवरीथिंग इज स्मूथ ओवर देयर, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया. सो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं. अवेलेबिलिटी का अभी कोई इशू नहीं है. हाँ, डेफिनेटली जैसे टूरिज्म और रैपिडली रिवाइव करेगी, जितने ज़्यादा लोग ट्रैवल करना शुरू करेंगे, तो पीक टाइम पे अवेलेबिलिटी इशू होनी शुरू हो जाएगी. बट अभी एट द मोमेंट नहीं है. सो इन केस अगर कोई लास्ट मोमेंट प्लान बना रहा है, किसी को अच्छे डेस्टिनेशन जाना है कम बजट में, सो उन सारे ट्रैवलर्स को आप सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं श्रीलंका. एंड आपको होटल्स भी मिल जाएंगे इवन फॉर द पीक टाइम, दैट इज द न्यू ईयर एंड द क्रिसमस टाइम. So that is very important thing. In case if any of your traveler is facing these kind of issues, you can suggest them Sri Lanka. Now, the fifth and the most important part is that Draftland support is also that you would be getting it if you are selling Sri Lanka, because Draftland has started Sri Lanka again. हम ये पहले भी करते थे और हम काफ़ी अच्छे से श्रीलंका सेल करते थे. हमारा ऑन ग्राउंड प्रेजेंस भी है श्रीलंका में. तो हमने ये दोबारा से शुरू किया. बीच में हमने होल्ड कर दिया था बिकॉज वी वर ऑल्सो वेटिंग फॉर द सिचुएशन टू बिकम बेटर. सो जैसे ही अभी हमें कॉन्फिडेंस हुआ कि हम श्रीलंका दोबारा से शुरू करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हम हमारे पास काफ़ी सारे ट्रैवल एजेंट्स के तरफ से डिमांड आ रहे थे, हमने फाइनली अभी श्रीलंका शुरू कर दिया है. एंड हमने बुकिंग्स भी कर ली हैं. एंड वी आर अगेन प्लानिंग टू लॉन्च आवर लाइक ऑटो कोड सिस्टम फॉर श्रीलंका. एंड फिर हम यहाँ पे आपको डेडिकेटली प्रॉपर तरीके से कोड्स भेजना शुरू कर देंगे. अभी भी आपके पास कोई क्वेरी तो यू कैन डेफिनेटली शेयर विद अस. सो बेसिकली दीज आर द थिंग्स व्हाई यू शुड start selling Sri Lanka. And one more thing which I wanted to tell everyone about is that अगर आप श्रीलंका ट्रैवल करना चाहते हैं या आपका कोई कस्टमर आपको श्रीलंका के बारे में पूछता है, बेसिकली लोग अभी डरे हुए हैं वहाँ की कंडीशन के बारे में सोच के कि व्हाट वुड लाइक इज श्रीलंका रियली सेफ टू ट्रैवल. सो दैट वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ द पॉइंट दैट आई वांटेड टू कवर टुडे. सो बहुत सारे ट्रैवलर्स के पास ये क्वेश्चन है, दे वांट टू नो इफ श्रीलंका इज सेफ टू ट्रैवल. सो आई वुड लाइक टू टेल एवरीवन Sri Lanka is very, very, very safe in case if you are traveling, because Sri Lanka tourism का मतलब श्रीलंका के इकोनॉमी का एक मेजर फैक्टर है, एक मेजर आप कह लो कि बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर है श्रीलंकन टूरिज्म. वो अगर टूरिस्ट सेफ नहीं होंगे तो डेफिनेटली टूरिज्म कोलैप्स कर जाएगी और फिर इकोनॉमी भी कोलैप्स करेगी. सो मतलब जब पीक चल रहा था क्राइसिस का, उस वक्त भी ट्रैवलर्स को कोई भी हार्म नहीं कर रहा था. सो अभी भी ट्रैवलर्स सेफ हैं और उस वक्त भी सेफ थे, क्योंकि जहाँ से श्रीलंका को फाइनेंशियल हेल्प मिल रही है, इकोनॉमी रिवाइव करने का मौका मिल रहा है, वो टूरिज्म है, एक बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर प्ले करता है. सो अगर टूरिस्ट के साथ ही वो लोग अगर कुछ भी गलत हुआ तो डेफिनेटली पूरी टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री को प्रॉब्लम होगी और इकोनॉमी अल्टीमेटली सफ़र करेगी. सो टूरिज्म बहुत ज़्यादा सेफ है श्रीलंका में. Second thing is that लोग डर रहे थे पहले कि there is power crisis, there is fuel crisis, because if you are going to Sri Lanka, you are mostly traveling through your vehicle. आप कार से जाते हो, वैन से जाते हो, तो अगर तेल ही नहीं हुआ, अगर पेट्रोल नहीं है, देर इज नो फ्यूल, हाउ विल यू ट्रैवल? सो बेसिकली लोगों को डर था कि अगर हमने श्रीलंका की फ्लाइट बुक कर ली और हम होटल बुक कर लिया, फिर भी अगर हम वहाँ गए और कुछ फ्यूल क्राइसिस हुआ तो हम ट्रैवल नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो हमारा पूरा पैकेज वेस्ट चला जाएगा. दैट वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ द मेजर कंसर्न दैट पीपल वेर हैविंग. बट अभी ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. मतलब बेसिकली अगर आप कहें, अगर कहीं पे स्कार्सिटी ऑफ फ्यूल होगी भी तो प्रायोरिटी दी जाएगी टूरिस्ट व्हीकल को. सो हाउ दिस इज हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट टूरिज्म इज फॉर श्रीलंका इकोनॉमी. सो हर जगह टूरिस्ट को प्रायोरिटी देते हैं. सो टूरिज्म is like tourist is very safe in Sri Lanka. And also लोगों का ये भी डर था that there is power cuts in many hotels. So वो power cuts क्या अभी भी है. So like the best thing about booking a package through a travel agent, or if you are booking a package through a proper supplier like Travplan, is that we will suggest you कि कौन से hotels आपको जाने चाहिए, कौन से hotels आपको book करने चाहिए, नहीं करने चाहिए. Because we are only working with those kinds of hotels जहाँ पे कोई भी ऐसे issues नहीं हो. Issues पहले दूसरे hotels में होती थी, अब हर जगह better हो गई condition. और हम जो भी आपको hotel suggest करते हैं, that is like टोटली टेंशन फ्री. वहाँ पे पावर का इशू नहीं है, फ्यूल का इशू नहीं है. सो बेसिकली इट्स वेरी सेफ. एंड आई already told you that I have got trips that is already being running in Sri Lanka. So अभी तक उनको कोई भी challenge face नहीं हुआ. So it's very safe now, and we are also back again promoting Sri Lanka. So I hope आप भी अपने clients को बता सकते हैं कि श्रीलंका कितना सेफ है ट्रैवल करने के लिए अब. एंड आई होप आई हैव कवर्ड मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स. इस बार मैंने ज़्यादा डिटेल में डेस्टिनेशन के बारे में नहीं बताया, बिकॉज इट वाज अबाउट द कंडीशन ऑफ श्रीलंका, हाउ सेफ इट इज़ टू ट्रैवल इन श्रीलंका, व्हाट आर बीइंग डन इन श्रीलंका टू रिवाइव द टूरिज्म. सो जब मैं नेक्स्ट वेबिनार करूंगा, डेफिनेटली आई विल टेल यू अबाउट how to sell Sri Lanka, what all are there in Sri Lanka, and basically a proper destination guide will be provided the very next time when we are doing a webinar on Sri Lanka. So that's it for today, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zishan, for this wonderful presentation. I hope this session was very, very informative for all our travel agent partners who took out time from their busy schedules to learn how the revival of Sri Lanka is happening as a country and how the Indian tourists can now travel to this wonderful destination. So thank you so much for this, first of all. Right. So coming to the questions that we have received today by our travel agent partners, so we'll pick them one by one. And if anyone is left to ask their question, they can still post them in the live chat. So the first question that we have received is that the Indian market, so the Indian customers actually are very much affected by the news they have been watching on the news channels, or the WhatsApp flows that run around the country. So most of the people try and follow them. So there is a lack of awareness that things are getting better in Sri Lanka. So the travel agent partners want to know that how they should market it to their customers in a better way so that the customers are also ready to explore this destination or give it a shot.
Right. So what was the last part of the question, Hanu?
Yeah, so the last part of the question was that how should a travel agent market Sri Lanka as a destination to the Indian travelers in the market that they should travel? What are the top reasons why they should choose Sri Lanka in comparison to the other destinations?
Right. So yes, I agree to the point that lots of negativity was going around because of the economic crisis. Although the tourists were safe, but still, like, होता है कि आप like we have seen the same situation during the COVID. कि जब COVID control में भी आ गया, and when it was not like that deadly, still people were afraid to travel outside. So it was all about the mentality, and also the negativity that's basically being spread by the media also sometimes. So the thing is like Sri Lanka tourism is already doing a lot of things in order to boost the tourism, revive the tourism, and as a travel agent, it's our responsibility also to make the things like to show the positive side of the coin, and also to educate the travelers. So basically, we play a very important factor. And like you asked, that what are the things that we can tell to our customers so that they can choose Sri Lanka as their holiday destination. So I already mentioned the points, like it's the one, basically like a complete package for all kinds of travelers, be it honeymooners, be it family traveling with the family, or adventure seeking people, or if you want to organize a seminar or exhibition. So all kinds of travelers, like they can travel to Sri Lanka. That's the first thing. And if you are like looking for places with hill station, places with beaches, places to enjoy the nightlife, you will get everything in Sri Lanka. Even the wildlife you will get in Sri Lanka. And third thing is like there you can see that there are lots of like availability factor. If you talk about the hotel availability, so like it's the peak time for most of the destinations. So same is for Sri Lanka also. But in Sri Lanka, as of now, there is no such like problem of the availability. Hotels are mostly available, and but this will no longer be the same, because promotion is being done on a very high scale. And जैसे जैसे ये promotion और ज़्यादा बढ़ेगा, लोग अवेयर होंगे, लोग ट्रैवल करेंगे, और जब जितना ट्रैवल करेंगे उतना अवेलेबिलिटी का इशू भी होगा, बिकॉज द होटल्स आर ऑलरेडी लिमिटेड. सो एज ऑफ नाउ अभी अवेलेबिलिटी का इशू नहीं है. तो अगर आप दुबई सिंगापुर जा रहे हैं, अवेलेबिलिटी का इशू हो जाता है, स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग द न्यू ईयर और क्रिसमस के वक्त. सो अभी श्रीलंका में वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो समथिंग दैट यू कैन like suggest to your travelers. Also जो ट्रैवल ऑलरेडी जिन लोगों ने भी एशिया कप देखा है, सबको पता है कितने ज़्यादा एडवर्टीजमेंट चल रही थी श्रीलंका टूरिज्म के लिए. सो ऑब्वियसली कोई भी गवर्नमेंट जहाँ पे जो खुद अनस्टेबल है, वो ये सारी चीज़ प्रमोट नहीं करेगी कि हाँ मतलब मेरी कंट्री में टूरिस्ट सेफ नहीं है बट आप मेरी कंट्री में आओ. वैसा नहीं है. आई टोल्ड यू हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट tourism is for the Sri Lanka economy. तो टूरिज्म सबसे ज़्यादा मतलब टूरिस्ट सबसे ज़्यादा सेफ है, एंड टूरिज्म को प्रमोट भी किया जा रहा है हर जगह. इतने सारे फैम ट्रिप्स हो रहे हैं, एंड यहाँ पे रोड शोज किए जा रहे हैं इंडिया के अलग अलग पार्ट पे. एंड सनत जसूरिया को ब्रांड एम्बेसडर अपॉइंट किया गया है. देन फिल्म स्टार्स के साथ टाइप किया जा रहा है, सो दैट दे कैन ट्रैवल टू श्रीलंका एंड दे कैन प्रमोट द डेस्टिनेशन. So all these things are being taken care, and as a part of the industry, people, travel agents को भी बहुत ज़्यादा important role play करना होगा यहाँ पे, in order to aware, like spread the awareness amongst the travelers. So yeah, we will also have to be more aware.
Right, Zishan. So the next question we have is regarding the concerns. So like earlier you shared as well that most of the concerns have been addressed, like the fuel crisis, the hotel availability, the electricity crisis, all of these have been addressed. But the travel partners want to know, is there any issue that is still not being addressed or is in a middle of something, so that if a traveler is traveling to the destination, they might be, prepared for that thing.
Right. So basically when you are traveling to a destinations, आपके लिए क्या चीज़ें important होती हैं? आपके लिए आपकी सेफ्टी important होती है, राइट? आपके लिए ये important होता है कि जो भी चीज़ें आप घूमना चाहते हो वो सारी चीज़ें खुली हों. ऐसा ना हो कि ये चीज़ें बंद है, वो चीज़ें बंद है, राइट? आपको होटल्स मिले, प्रॉपर होटल्स मिले, आपको मील मिले प्रॉपर, ठीक है? आप ट्रैवल करने के लिए आपको कन्वेंस मिले, ठीक है? तो ये सारी चीज़ें इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं. तो एज ऑफ नाउ श्रीलंका में ये सारी इनमें से कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. एंड एज आई टोल्ड यू कि आप अगर आप बजट के चक्कर में किसी शेडी होटल में जाते हो तो दैट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग, कि फिर वैसे होटल्स के साथ मोस्टली अच्छे सप्लायर्स काम नहीं करते. तो वी हैव गॉट ऑप्शंस फॉर 3 स्टार 4 स्टार 5 स्टार होटल्स. and your travel partner can always suggest you कि आपको कौन सा होटल बुक करना चाहिए, so that पावर प्राइसेस भी ना हो. सो एज आई मेंशन कि ओवरऑल कंडीशन बहुत बेटर है और इसको और बेटर कर रहे हैं ना. फ्यूल की क्राइसिस है अभी वहाँ पे, सारे होटल्स खुले हुए हैं एंड गाड़ियों का भी इशू नहीं है. प्लस आप कहीं पे भी ट्रैवल करते हो तो ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ टूरिस्ट स्पॉट्स को बंद कर दिया गया. ऑल द स्पॉट्स आर ओपन एंड यू कैन ट्रैवल टू दोज प्लेसेस एज वेल. सो ऐसा कोई भी मेजर इशू नहीं है वहाँ पे अभी. सो इट्स वेरी सेफ टू ट्रैवल नाउ.
Right. So the next question we have is from Mr. Prashant. So Mr. Prashant is asking if you can let them know about the any upcoming roadshow or event that is being done by Sri Lanka Tourism in Mumbai. So they would love to attend.
All right. So regarding that, because we also waiting for things to, like, all these trade fairs and exhibitions to come to Delhi also, so that we can attend. So I currently don't have the exact dates when they are organizing in Mumbai. So I will check and definitely get back to you. So you can share your email ID at the chat box and we will update you regarding the same. Plus, you can get these information from the Sri Lanka tourism website. Okay, so you can go there and you can check these informations will be updated there as well.
Right. So we'll surely get back to you, Prashant sir. So Zishan, these are all the questions that we received today. So before we conclude today's session, would you like to add anything?
Yes, so I just want people to be more aware and with a positive mindset. I want every travel agents to spread the awareness regarding the Sri Lanka tourism, because they need the tourism very badly, and it's our duty as a neighbor also to help our neighbors. So since it's safe now and it has lots of things to offer, it is economical, budget friendly, a very beautiful destination. And so basically it's our responsibility to like market, advertise Sri Lanka as much as we can and spread the awareness. And whenever there is a query, you can always reach out to Trafclan and we'd be very happy to solve all your concerns. And we're always there to provide you support. So that's why we have organized this event today, so that we as part of the travel industry can educate other travel agents also, and they can then pass on the information to their individual travelers. So that was the main motive behind this webinar today.
Right. Thank you so much, Zishan, for coming in today to take this session and enrich our travel agent partners with all the information that you had with yourself. And I'm sure that the boost is going to be there from India to Sri Lanka. And of course, we are going to be a very good neighbors and partners with Sri Lanka tourism and have a very memorable trips for our travel agents and customers to Sri Lanka. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Anu, for calling me. Thank you.
Right. A special thanks to the audience for taking out time to attend today's session. I hope this session was enriching for you and you'll continue to attend all the upcoming sessions in future. So we as a team at Travelan will also try to bring all the new topics and all the upcoming topics in the travel industry to you guys for all the knowledge that you need. You also, if you have any queries, you can keep sharing them with us. If you have any suggestions for the upcoming webinars, you can message me, Zishan, personally, or even mail to any of us. We'll always try and bring those sessions to you. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much, audience.